Welcome to JazzTime. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch you would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today I'll be reviewing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Self-Winding Chronograph in stainless steel with a dark blue dial and bezel. Reference 26420SO.OO.A029VE.01. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of this watch, then I'll tell you about where it stands in the lineup of other similar offshores. Then I'll tell you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start. Just with a little history. Now the Offshore came out as a result of its older brother, the Royal Oak, which came out in 1972, around 30 years later. In the early 90s, 1992 or so, the Royal Oak Offshore, it still retains part of the name. It still retains the name of Royal Oak, probably because it has this octagonal bezel, but it's an offshoot of it. It's a more sporty version of the Royal Oak, and hence it has the name Offshore to it. Now, the Offshore has many different variations. I'm not going to go into all the history of all of that, just to say that it was created around 1992 or so, which makes it, I guess, around 30 years old now or so. And there's a lot of variations. This is the latest variation. It's 43 millimeters. It used to be 44, now it's 43 millimeters. And they're making a lot of variations off the same body shape that you see here. Okay, now where does this watch stand in the lineup of other similar offshores? Well, the offshores, they make a diver version, which is just time only, or might be time and date, and then they make a chronograph, which is what you see here. They also make a open work tourbillon, which is pretty awesome, but it's very expensive. And they also make some grand complication, but for all intents and purposes, because most people are not going to buy the Offshore that is going to cost them around $300,000, they're going to buy one that's around $50,000, and that is the chronograph or the non-chrono. So basically, those are the two options you have, and of those, they make a lot of different variations. This is the latest, at least as of 2025, and it's a pretty cool variation. It's got this dark blue. AP actually calls it Bleu Nuit. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. Nuage. Maybe it's some kind of French name or something. But that's at least how it sounds like in American English. Okay, so let's start talking about the watch itself, starting with the case. Now, I told you earlier that this watch used to be, the predecessor to this used to be 44 millimeters. Yeah, up until around 2020, they made 43 millimeter, which had a lot of differences. Not going to go through the differences now because it doesn't really matter anymore because they're not in production. But let's just say basically the watch has become more refined and more slimmed down and just better ergonomics, and in fact, in my eyes, better looking. So there's small details, but yeah, the result is what you see here, and this is the final evolution of the Offshore. And I'm not sure that they're going to do much more than this because it's a very good representation of the Offshore. Now, 43 millimeters. Let's take a look at the case from my thumb to my index finger. Now that's 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock position. Now going from 12 to 6, that's called the lug to lug. Now that's actually quite large. It's around 52 to 53 millimeters, around something like that. And that's quite large for a watch. Not that large, it still fits on most people's wrists. I would say if you have a wrist size of 7 inches or larger, then it should fit just fine. But it is still a large watch, but that is the style of Offshore. They're not a tiny little dress watch. It's a big, bold sports watch, and a pretty good one at that. Okay, now let's look at the case a little bit further. You'll see that it has a beautiful beveled edge that when it has a bracelet, it kind of extends down it. But one of the cool things about the Offshore, which I have to say, probably I would say that the Offshore is the watch that ushered in the cool straps, because mostly sports watches before this had metal bracelets, but I believe because of the Offshore, they brought in the fashion of having straps on watches, which is just amazing. I mean, it's actually cheaper, but it's more in fashion. And I think that's because they're able to pair different straps and match the head better than a steel bracelet. And it also is a little bit more comfortable. And it breaks up the monotony of everything being in steel. Okay, but at any rate, the case itself has a satin finish on top and then a beautiful beveled edge. And the thickness of it, it's actually kind of thick when it looks on paper. It's 14.4 millimeter. It's on the thicker end. It's not thick. But when you put it on the wrist and when you look at it in proportion to the rest of the size of it, it's a perfectly good thickness. Okay, let's move on here to the bezel. Now the bezel is using a ceramic bezel, which allows it to not scratch or crack or fade with time. It could possibly chip, but you really have to hit it quite hard. This is a pretty cool color. It's the new blue that AP is using. They used a different blue a few years ago, and it was a very bright blue. Now this blue, they call it I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly, I'm sure. It's some French name, I imagine. It's called Bleu Nuit Nuage 50. Okay, so I believe that what they're trying to do is take the same color that they used on the original Royal Oak, that dark blue navy color. They could have just called it navy, I guess, and apply it toward the bezel and the dial. And they did a great job of it because the old blue was like an electric blue. It didn't really look that great, to be honest. So this dark blue looks a lot better. And it's more in line with the Offshore spirit. And I think that's why they did it. They think it just took them some time, but finally they figured it out. So it has an octagonal bezel. Let's look at the dial here. The dial also has this grand tapisserie pattern, which is a hallmark of the Offshore. And it kind of looks like the Royal Oak, but as I said at the beginning, the Royal Oak is the older brother, so it's a little bit more refined. This is much bolder and bigger, so it has bigger, I guess you call little waffle designs here, as opposed to the Royal Oak. And you also don't spell out the name Audemars Piguet on the AP, on the Offshore. They just put a logo AP. And of course, it has the 3 chronograph registers here that are hour, minute, second, and they have a date here at 4 o'clock. And it's a beautiful blue, as I said, and it's a lot easier to read actually than the Royal Oak, and that's because this is the more beefy, sportier version. Okay, let's look at the and I guess I could also say that the pushers here are also done in blue ceramic, and they are different from the previous generation in that they're more recessed in. But anyways, let's move on to the strap here. Now the strap is pretty cool because it can be changed. They didn't have this before. You can simply press these 2 buttons and you can remove it. Now the strap, I would say it's actually it looks like a canvas strap, but it's actually a texturized leather strap, interestingly. So it's a leather, but it's texturized to look like a canvas. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think canvas straps are really in at the moment, and yeah, looks quite good. It has a normal pin buckle style strap buckle. The movement here, let's move on to the final thing, which is the movement. Now, the movement is an in-house movement. AP spent quite a bit of time trying to develop it. It came out, I think, 2018, and they since have used it in their Code 1159s, the Royal Oaks, and the Offshores. So they basically use it in everything, every kind of chrono that is around 41 millimeters or so. It's a caliber 4401. It has a diameter of 32 millimeters, which now it fills the entire back. Before, it didn't fill the entire back. It actually looked kind of too small. It's got a lot of parts. 381 is kind of high for a chrono, to be honest. A lot of chronos are something like low 300s. But I'm sure AP has a good reason for that, maybe also making it look beautiful. Has a good power reserve, a very healthy power reserve, actually. Now kind of the industry standard is 70 hours. Okay, time to try this watch on my wrist. Now, and give my thoughts. I think the Offshore is one of the best watches ever made, and the best collections of watches ever made. And history supports that. It has a runtime of 30 something years or something like that, and it's really put AP on the map. Now, AP didn't need the Offshore put on the map. It has the Royal Oak, which really put them on the map. But at the same time, the Offshore did really well for them. And there's a lot of variations. So it's kind of up to you to pick the variation that you see the best. I'll give you a reason why I like this one, because I like rugged watches, sports watches, and blue is a great color for men. The old blue wasn't that good, which was kind of electric blue and ceramic. Not my favorite. But this one with a dark blue, it really stands out, but it's not so bold where it's in your face, and it still looks really good. I like the ergonomics of the new 43. It's not too thick, not too thin. And the size at 43, yeah, it's a little bit large, but you know, some watches are large, some watches are small. So this one's just a great watch overall, and I love that you can change the strap. I actually like it on this blue. I'd probably keep it. The only other thing I might use is maybe black rubber or something. But at any rate, I think it's a great watch. And look, if you want to buy it at the lowest price anywhere online, please click on the link in the description below and buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.